So, today we'll be talking about the next two topics from the book, that is, the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. So, let's start with food. So let me tell you also what are the two topics that we'll be discussing today. It is food and non injury. So, let's start with our first topic, which is food. So, Swamiji explains that food plays a crucial role in shaping both the body and the mind, especially in the early stages of spiritual practice. So, if there is a person who wants to practice spirituality, then of course there is a need of good food habit because it shapes both our body and the mind. Also, pure and simple food helps purify our mind, while heavy, impure, or overly excited food can disturb the concentration and self control. He emphasizes not becoming overly obsessed with purity rules, but instead focusing on self discipline and inner control. So, here what does it mean? It basically means, and it focuses on that, when you talk about selecting the food, a particular food, if you're trying to eat it, so do not stick towards that because it just requires purity. Okay, you don't have to stick towards the purity rules, you just need to focus on your self discipline and you should have some inner control so that you're not attracted towards the food which are not good for your health, like the junk foods and the fatty foods. He also warns against religious extremism over food choices. While acknowledging the moral ideal of vegetarianism, he recognizes that meat may be necessary for some people in certain conditions, especially those who labor hard, right? So here of course it's very simple and very concise form. He said that food like meat, many people they do not eat meat, they deny it, but people on the basis of the work they do, on the basis of the occupation that they have different types of food that they eat. For example, a person who labor hard, they need meat because it gives them more energy to do the work, but a person who is sitting in an office and doing a typing work, they do not need such a heavy food. They need only simple, you can say homemade food, right? Normal vegetables, fruits is good for them. So here Swamiji is trying to emphasize us that the moral ideal of vegetarianism, he acknowledges it, and he also recognizes that meat can be necessary for some people in certain conditions, especially the persons who labor hard. So next is that he says is ultimately food should support strength, clarity and spiritual growth, not to be a matter of pride or an argument. Yes, so you should not, you can say, fight over which food is correct or which is not. It is just not a part of argument. Food is never an argument. It should not be taken as an argument. Instead it should be recognized well, like which food is good for the person who are working on the basis of their occupation, and as a person who is on a path of spiritual practice, they need simple normal food, vegetables, fruits, etc. Okay, so this was all about food as per Swamiji. Next we'll move on to the non injury, that is the next topic, which is also in Hindi called as Ahimsa. So, Swamiji here explains that non injury as a never causing harm through thoughts, words, or actions to any living being. Right? So, this is what he says as a non injury. He defines non injury. It's not like, from external part only, even from the internal. You should not harm anyone or any person, any living being through your thoughts, words, or actions. So, that truly means non injury in sense of Swami Vivekananda ji. So, true ahimsa goes beyond not eating meat. Yes, see, sometimes people just focus on the external things, like you should not eat meat, you should not be eating any kind of those things which are eaten after cutting the animals and all. Yes, so that is what people usually think. But no, true ahimsa actually it goes beyond all of these things. Okay, even avoiding physical harm. Okay, yes, of course, normally people think that you are not using weapon or you are not harming someone. Okay, no, by any external means, so that is considered as a ahimsa, right? But truly if you're if you're thinking about non injury or true ahimsa, it goes beyond all of these things. It includes being truly free from the internal conflicts also, like your jealousy, hatred and ill will. Okay, thinking bad or wrong for someone is also you can say is actually not a part of non-injury, right? Now, he emphasizes that inner purity is more important than external practices like rituals. However, non injury doesn't mean weakness. Resisting evil when needed is also necessary. Yes, this is also very important, that if if there is a person or any animal is attacking on you, then you have to, fight back. You have to fight back to save yourself, right? Even if in terms of words, if there is someone who is trying to, you can say, criticize you, even you have done nothing wrong, then at that time you should take your point of view, you should take your standpoint. So this is also a very important thing here that Swamiji talks about, that non-injury doesn't mean weakness, or resisting evil when needed is necessary, is right. Now one must be strong, active and courageous, not passive. Yes, this is also important, that you should be strong, active, and courageous to move forward, because people, usually think that if you're not using any weapon, or if you're not showing jealousy to someone, or maybe, not at all defending them, so it's like, or defending yourself, so it's like they think that you are weak, right? You don't have power, you don't have courage to talk, you don't have you're not so strong enough to fight back. People usually think that, so that should also not be the case. True non-violence comes from strength, love, and not from fear or any kind of, laziness or lazy activities. Yes, it doesn't come from that. It comes from strength and love. It is a powerful state of a being that transforms not only the individual but also the world around them. So this was all about the non-injury and food. If you have any kind of doubt, okay, from these two topics, just put it in the comments. I'll make sure to answer those doubts. I'll make sure to clarify them. And thank you so much for listening me until here. Yes, thank you so much for now, and we'll meet in the next video. And yes, have a nice day ahead.